How long does it take to catch a Pikachu in every Pokemon region? That's a question I asked myself when trying to come up with a fun Pokemon challenge, but little did I know that this challenge would be a nightmare. It would test me emotionally, mentally, and somehow physically. Like, I'm not kidding, I was bedridden after this challenge and I had to call my doctor to see if I needed to go to the emergency room. But what makes this challenge so difficult? I mean, Pikachu is the series mascot, so of course they'd make it easy to catch in each region, right? Right? The rule set is simple. I have to obtain a Pikachu in every mainline Pokemon region, from Kanto to Paldea. I'm not going to be doing any of the side regions like Omnia since you don't really catch Pokemon in some of these, but once I get a Pikachu, to prove our bond, I need to KO at least one Pokemon. That way we're accomplices. With that rule set in mind, I sat down to prepare for the most challenging Pokemon run of my life. We started out pretty simple, Kanto, where it's actually super easy to get a little yellow rat. I mean, all we have to do is play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and we get it as a starter. The actual challenge here is mashing through the bloated intro and actually having to find a Pokemon we can defeat. Because during this run, I forgot that this is a game made for literal babies and you can't actually fight wild Pokemon, so we had to wait for our rival battle before we could get our KO and lock in our time at about 12 minutes. Next up is Pokemon Crystal, and you would expect, since the Kanto region is literally connected to Johto, that maybe a Pikachu or two could wander over, but no. The only actual place to catch a Pikachu in the Johto games is in Viridian Forest in the post-game, and I wasn't about to sit here and defeat 8 gym leaders in the Elite Four, so I needed to find a different solution and enter Pokemon Crystal. So our route was simple. We chose Cyndaquil since they're the best starter Pokemon to get us through the first 2 gym leaders, Falconer and Bugsy, so we could arrive at the daycare and get the Odd Egg. The Odd Egg is a unique feature to Pokemon Crystal and only Pokemon Crystal, which has a 10% chance of hatching into a Pikachu, as well as many other baby Pokemon. So we save stated, and yeah, I'm gonna use save states and speed ups, it's my challenge, shut up. So we started farming. It should only take about 50 times running up and down the road here to hatch an egg, and with a 10% chance of getting a Pichu, it should be pretty easy, right? Right? What is it, smooch 'em! I say fuck. Pichu? One of those, maybe? Magby. See? Fuck! 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 If I eat a raw egg, do you think that would help? Okay, if we get to 10 eggs and still no Pichu, I'll eat a raw egg. Please. God damn it. Come on, number 10! Fuck! Needless to say, I was going a little nuts. I was losing hope and fast. I had just discovered that, fun fact, my eggs were rotten. So I had just eaten a raw egg and had to call my doctor to make sure I wasn't gonna die, but my stomach hurt for the rest of this stream. More than that though, I still couldn't hatch a Pichu. How is it that I've gotten multiple shiny Pokemon and still no little yellow rat? I started trying everything, electrocuting myself to make the Pichu come out, playing the game upside down to make the Pichu come out, going back to the starting town to make the Pichu come out, and nothing was working until finally. Yes! Yes! It's here! Oh! Oh! Glorious days! It's here! It had taken me 2 hours, 16 eggs, and 1 case of food poisoning, but I had finally got my Pichu. But our job isn't over, because this thing isn't a Pikachu yet, so it took us another hour of grinding friendship to make this stupid little yellow devil love me so it would finally evolve. And we clocked in at Johto at about 3 hours. Why was this so difficult? Game Freak, what's up? Next up is the Hoenn region. Outside of carrying a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, chat, Pichu is fucking dead to me. We were perfectly ready. See, in all of the GBA Hoenn games, which is Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, Pikachu is only available in the Safari Zone, which means we would have to progress through 6 gyms, but in Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, all we have to do is get to Slateport City. We had our route already planned out. Just like Pokemon Crystal, we had to make our way through the first 2 gyms, and that requires us to choose Torchic and catch a Shroomish. Shroomish is a beast of a Pokemon in Gen 3, since a newly caught Shroomish is able to solo Roxanne's gym, and a Torchic with Peck is able to easily get us through Brawly. This quick progression allows us to get to Slateport where we can enter a contest. Now, we didn't have to win this contest, so I really just mashed A through it, but our Shroomish was just too powerful, I guess, and we ended up winning anyways, much to our own confusion, but hey, we take those. Because we entered a contest, this random woman is gonna give a 10-year-old a cosplay Pikachu, which is still a Pikachu in my books. It's a cool mechanic that I wish they would reintroduce, where depending on Pikachu's costumes, they get their own signature move. Now we just need to take down a Wingull, and the Hoenn region is done with just over an hour in. Next up is the Sinnoh region, and surprisingly, 4 hours into this run and 4 regions in, it's the first time we're actually going to catch a wild Pikachu. To do this, we need to reach the Trophy Garden, and it's actually easier to do this in Pokemon Diamond than it is in Pokemon Platinum. We choose Chimchar because access to fire moves will help us defeat Gardenia, and access to fighting moves will help us defeat Rourke and the Devil's Cat. I hate this Prug Lead, it's ended so many of my Nuzlocke. Now that we've made our way to Hearthome, or Hearthome, or whatever you call it, there's a direct route south that leads to the Trophy Garden, however this will be blocked off by reporters. For some reason in Pokemon Platinum, not only do you have to fight Fantina as the 3rd gym leader, but you also have to progress all the way to Pastoria City before this route unlocks. However, in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, all you need to do is step foot in Solaceon Town and the route unlocks itself. So as soon as we step foot, we run back, and because we only have 1 Pokemon, we don't activate any of the double battles in this route, and we're able to progress to the Trophy Garden where we catch a Pikachu and defeat a Staravia. That was easy, another hour down. Next is Unova, which is a bit of a unique issue. You see, the Generation 5 games in the Unova region in general is pretty unique in the fact that, well, there's no Pikachu. In fact, they're the only generation of games where you cannot naturally find this little critter without trading or transferring, and since I'm not doing that for this challenge, I had to get creative. So I introduced to you Pokemon Rumble, which according to Bulbapedia is a Generation 5 Pokemon game, and no one can prove to me that this game does not take place in the Unova region, so we're gonna settle for this toy Pikachu, and I'm gonna call this Caught. Just to be fair to the challenge though, I did make my way through the first level, which was surprisingly fun. It's like a top-down fighter. The first boss is Zekrom, which was nutty, and I'm glad that there's a Pokemon game where we actually get to use Victini. I mean, like, this is the greatest waste of cute Pokemon potential I've ever seen. And then we make our way to Kalos. It's very easy to find a Pikachu in the Kalos region. In fact, our greatest challenge here is just trying to remember all of our friends' names. Okay, this is Serena and the girl, and oh, he likes dancing, right? And I think this is Clement. Luckily, we don't have to remember for long because we're able to catch a Pikachu on the second round and clock in at around 15 minutes. I'm glad we got an easy one out of the way before we come to another very challenging part of this run. Sun and Moon, Alola. You'd think, with how tied these games are to Kanto, it'd be fairly easy to find a Pikachu. But no, because this is when Pokemon games start really hand-holding you through hours and hours of tutorials before you unlock the full region. So we have to go through an hour of talking to Hal, an hour of talking to Lily, and Nebby still won't stay in the bag. We get our Litten and, you know, he's cute and all that. But look, I can see a Pikachu, but I cannot catch him. His smug aura, it mocks me. We have to go through the whole first trial and defeat Donald Trump before we unlock the SOS system. This was a unique feature in Pokemon Sun and Moon, where if a Pokemon is injured, they may call for help. This is a great way to not only shiny hunt, but to get unique Pokemon that you can't find naturally in the wild, such as Pikachu. Well, yes, I guess I could have caught a Pichu and attempted to evolve it into Pikachu. I'm not willing to go through that again. So instead, we just bully this Pichu until they call for help. Oh, no one came. I must have found the loneliest introverted Pichu in the world, because I swear, I was beating this kid up for weeks before a Pikachu finally strolled by and just came to see what was going on. Either way, we catch them and we destroy a Pichu easily. Next, we boot up Pokemon Sword and the Galar region. Now, I actually prepared for this at the very beginning of this video because we played Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu after mashing A through about an hour of intro cutscenes so we can reach the wild area. This person will just give us a Pikachu because we played Let's Go Pikachu in Eevee. Easy, just time consuming. And speaking of time consuming, okay, let me level with you. It's time for Paldea, and I know where Pikachu is. It's right here on the map. My stomach was rumbling. I was having a bad day, and I was thinking to myself, did I really want to sit through 2 hours of tutorial cutscenes to get this Pikachu? So I booted up my personal save file, teleported to the town I needed to go, just ran left, found a Pikachu, and got the kill. So we're gonna add about 2 hours to our time here. Overall, it was an experience that I'm not eager to try again. I gained a new mortal enemy, but it was still kind of fun. I was surprised that Johto was the hardest by far to get a Pikachu in, considering that it was the direct sequel to the Kanto games, and it was after Pikachu had become an icon and mascot. Pikachu is still a cutie patootie, but let me know what other kind of Nintendo gaming challenge I should try, and I hope I'll see you next time.